All right, so what are we going to be learning? We're going to be learning C programming. How many of y'all are taking C++ immediately afterwards? All right, that'd be cool. I mean, like next semester, or you're going to hang out? Okay, because you could even hang out and wait, until 7:30 and take it this semester. So we're doing C programming. C programming was invented like in 1970 or something like that by Bill Lads to control the computers that did, the switching for the long distance networks and stuff like that. It is the precursor, you don't have to type these notes in, to C++, which was invented like in the 80s. And the syntax for it then got adopted and modified for a zillion other languages. Java, JavaScript, C#, untold other languages have a similar syntax. And what do I mean by that? They use these curly braces, they define their modules in the same way. So once you learn this language, you're well on your way toward learning an awful lot about a lot of programming languages. So the syntax is used in a lot of different languages. Now, not exactly, right? It's like you learn Italian and then you go to Portugal. I believe that Portuguese and Italian are closely related languages. So C++ is compatible with the C language. That's why I asked whether anybody was taking C++. However, C++ is a much larger beast, right? You learn a lot. It has a whole bunch of stuff added onto it. Does that mean that C is obsolete? No, not at all. It's just kind of a different mindset. There are still a lot of programs written in C. For example, the Linux operating system is written entirely in the C programming language, the kernel for it, because they think that it's easier to prove that it works without bugs if it's written in C, because C++ programs can become more complex. Other people would argue, no, C++ is great. So anyways, it's a different mindset, but it's a really good thing to know. And I strongly recommend that after you take C, then you go ahead and you take Java or C++ or C#. Those would all be good sequel classes to this. And the reason why is that C is not an object-oriented programming language. It's a procedural programming language, which is good to know. What are all these buzzwords? I just want to learn programming. But object-oriented programming is kind of the state of the art for the vast majority of programs that are written out there. So you're going to want to take another programming course besides this. And y'all have taken Python, so you're already well on your way towards knowing C, because you know what integers are, and you know what floats are, and you know what loops are, and stuff like that. So what I want y'all to do, just spend a few minutes, go out to assignments, click on a simple programming quiz, and don't stress. You're going to get 100% credit even if you turn it in blank, right? Click on the document, download it, because I don't know how to fill it in right here. Right, so just download it, open it up, wherever you downloaded it to. All right, what is it? Write some code in C++, Python, whatever, that does the following tasks. Don't stress, it's okay if you don't know how to do this. Don't bother to load up a programming editor, right? Don't load up idle and type your Python code in or whatever, because it doesn't matter if it works. I just kind of want to see that you know the syntax. It doesn't have to work. I don't care if you get colons in the wrong place or, uppercase, lowercase. Don't bother making it work. So syntax errors are fine. Not knowing how to do it is fine, but I just need to find out where we are, and I wish the rest of the class were here. So just modify this text file and upload it into the assignment folder. So write code that will do these four things. Put the value 10 into a variable named x. Put 2 times x into a variable named y. Display the value of y on the screen, Python print statement or whatever, and use an if statement to display the message below 0 if y is less than 0. So just go there, fill that in. And then the next one, write code that uses a loop to print your name on the screen 10 times. So if you're watching a video, which I hope the folks who aren't here today do, I'm going to pause the video. I want you to do it. I want you to go ahead and upload it into the assignments folder. Alright, so once you're done with the programming quiz, let's go ahead and upload it. I need to remember where I saved it. D2L downloads. Well, we're not using D2L. I'm going to stick this in the other folder I've made. What I recommend you do is you make, especially for the folks who are in the class, right here, go ahead and just click on the desktop and make yourself a C programming folder. Call it whatever you want. Okay. Now I'm going to upload it to the Dropbox, to the assignment folder. So I'm going to click on assignments, simple programming quiz. All right. Click submit assignment. Choose a file. Go and find our text file. Add a comment. Wow, this is fun. Whatever. Yeah, don't put that. What you do with the comments is that, like, if you're turning a program in a little bit late, you might explain why, or if your program's not doing what you want it to do, put a little comment there saying, it doesn't print out the answer, whatever. That way, it's not a surprise to me when I open your code and find out that it's not doing what the homework asked for. All right, so I've submitted it. All right, so now that we've had a whole bunch of fun, we're going to go ahead and cover the syllabus. And today is going to be a short class, shorter than the rest of our classes, most likely, because we're probably just going to cover the syllabus and then maybe be done for the day. So I'm going to click on Modules, Syllabus. And I strongly recommend that whenever you're viewing something like this in a preview mode, go ahead and just download it, because the preview mode kind of stinks, especially for PowerPoints. Now, if you don't have a PowerPoint viewer on your machine, then the preview might have to be how you do it. But I strongly recommend you go ahead and download. All right. What is this? Introductory course in developing competency in the C programming language. Don't you like when we fluff up the verbiage as much as possible? We're going to learn how to do some C programming, utilizing several different programming development tools and techniques. One of the things that we can use is something called Visual Studio, which people usually use to write C++, but since C is backwards compatible, since C++ also is, the C language, then it'll work for that too. But we also want to be doing something just like we were sitting at a Unix workstation, a Linux workstation, working from the command prompt. So we're going to kind of roll up our sleeves at a certain point and get, down and dirty like that as well. So we're going to use some different tools and techniques. Problem solving with programming structures such as loops, arrays, structs, pointers, functions, library creation, and file I/O. Now, y'all have had Python or other programming languages. You probably know what loops are. You know what arrays are, or maybe you call them lists, because that's what they're called in Python. A structure, well, maybe we don't know what a structure is. A pointer, you probably don't know what a pointer is. Python didn't support them at all. Functions, you call them modules when you took, fundamentals of programming logic, but they're called functions. I'm sure you know that. Okay, so here's my name, Jeff Thompson, Professor CIT. I'm downstairs right towards the end of the hallway. Here is my phone number. What I would appreciate y'all doing is to grab your phone or your other communication device, your smartwatch, whatever you use to make text messages with, and please send me a text message at 898-7767. Now, you don't have to do this. It'll hurt my feelings if you don't, but you don't have to do this. And send me, something that says CIT 203, followed by your name, right? Now, the reason I do that is those of y'all that have had me before know this, but I'm real open to helping you on your homework. You're writing a program late at night, you get stuck, you just take a picture with your phone of your code, you send it to me. I ought to be able to help you pretty quick. I stay up really late at night, right? That's faster than sending me email, right? If you call me up and ask for help, I'm probably not going to be able to help unless I see your code, and so I'll just tell you to take a picture of it and send it to me anyways. Now, you know, if it's a complicated problem, you may have to email it or whatever, but the first shot ought to just be right. So, really useful way of getting help. And otherwise, you know, you can tell me, hey, I can't come to class, you know, today, you know, my kid's sick, that kind of stuff. No problem. Just let me know. While we're talking about that, if you miss a class period, then just watch the video lecture. I record every lecture and I post it to YouTube, and we have a playlist for ourselves. So just go and watch the lecture. And as you're going along with the lecture, either type along with some of the notes. You'll kind of see what I mean, because what I do is I have us write programs together. So you can type that program in as we're creating it together, or just fill out a video review form. I need to make sure that that's in our document, in our folder. So third of your grade is based just on showing up. How about that? That's pretty cool. As long as you show up or you watch the lectures and you upload a document, you know, for that day, either the program that you wrote or, you know, just a document saying, I'm here, right? Or if you're not here, filling out the video lecture form or, you know, uploading the program, you get credit for that. So that's pretty cool. And then the other third is exams, and the last third is actually doing honest to goodness homework. And let's present that in a more formal sense. Course information, fundamentals of programming. We know what time we're here. Delivery method, hybrid lecture and online, meaning that I sit up here and I blather a lot, but also, you know, we use Canvas to communicate. You get your PowerPoints there and your assignment instructions and stuff like that. You're going to need a computer to do your work. I don't really think you'll be successful if you try to do it on an iPad, you know, or your Samsung tablet. I've had people try to do these classes on Chromebooks, and they're not usually all that successful. You need to take note of that. Write down your phone number. If you're unable to log into the campus network or your computer in the class, give these guys a call. 405-733-7356. So if you can't log into the computer or can't log into Canvas, there's probably a different place you need to go to get Canvas, but they can at least Canvas help, but they can at least help you. So our textbook, required text, C, programming for the absolute beginner. And that makes it sound like it's a programming for dummies book. It's not. It's a good programming book, and we're going to be doing stuff that's not in the book. So, you know, don't sweat the fact that it says absolute beginner. On the other hand, maybe you take comfort from that, right? So, required software. In class, we're going to use Visual Studio to write our programs, and also a suite of software known as Cygwin, and we might use Eclipse. You'll need a C compiler, and installing the tools that we use in class will probably be best. So to do your homework on your laptop or at home, you're going to want to install Visual Studio. And to be totally pumped up, then you may also want to install Cygwin. And the least you're going to have to do is use Visual Studio. And so we'll talk about that. Important dates. Well, today is June 3, first day. The last day to drop with a 100% refund, June 10. Fortunately, none of y'all are going to drop. AW grades, you know, we'll talk about what that means. You don't have to do anything about that. Except last day to change to audit. Nah, none of y'all are going to want to do that. We have a holiday, July 3 and 4. Last day to withdraw. If you get totally stuck, no shame. You know, you can drop the class if you need to, but you have until the middle of next month to figure that out. And our final exams is on July 29. So we have a website, canvas.rose.edu, and yeah, you can get to it through other URLs, but that's the one that's easiest for me to memorize. So upon successful completion of the course, the student should be able to understand fundamental concepts and general principles of programming, such as loops, decision statements, input and output. And this needs complete editing, right? Because we're not learning how to run Python scripts. We don't need to learn flowcharts. Okay. So I need to revise that, right?
I was wondering if that's the good.
Yeah. So we're going to learn, you know, C-specific programming, such as using arrays, pointers, you know, and structs. Grading scale is kind of boring. 90%'s an A, 80%'s a B, 70%'s a C. And if you're writing the line like you're making an 89.1, I'm not going to give you a B. I'll raise it up. No, I try not to be a jerk. Can't help it sometimes, but I try. Programming homework is a third of your grade. The in-class lectures, attending and uploading something, or watching the videos and uploading is worth another third of your grade, and your exams and your quizzes. All right, so heart rates are already accelerating at the word exam. Yikes, scary. Nah, not too scary. The quizzes. We have a quiz over each chapter. It's not something where you come into class and, oh no, I have to do it. Instead, it's something you do at home. And if you don't like the score you get, you take it again, and you take it again until you get 100% on it, right? So how cool is that, right? You're going to make good grades on the quizzes. And the quizzes are good study prep for the exams, right? Some of the questions come directly from the quizzes. So once you ace the quizzes, you're going to be able to come right in and kick some butt on the exams as well. And furthermore, the exams are open book, open PowerPoints, open notes that you took, and you can raise your hand during class and ask for help, right? If you have to take it at the library rather than in class, then they can get a little bit pickier about what notes you can use. But for example, you're not allowed to use the book on Kindle if you buy a Kindle version of the book, but you'll still be able to use the PowerPoints and notes that you've uploaded into D12. So, although I say that a third of the grade is based on, lectures and quizzes and homework and stuff like that, you do have to complete at least half of the programming, right? If I give you 8 programming assignments, you better complete at least 4 of them to pass. Even if that would have given you like a C, just doing like 1 homework assignment and plus, showing up every day, plus acing the exams and quizzes, I don't know how you would ace them. I guess you could get somebody else to write take your quizzes for you. But anyways, make sure you have your homework done. Shouldn't be too hard to do that. You'll know as you go along whether you're not turning in homework, so it shouldn't be a surprise at the end. So when you submit homework, what are you going to do? You're going to use Canvas. You're going to submit the C file, the H file, any make files, or whatever document is specified in the instructions for the assignment. You can submit as a zip file. If you know how to do that, we'll cover that. If you don't, we'll cover it. Also, I want a screenshot. Also submit we'll talk about how to take a screenshot of your program running. Apparently I need to upload this, fix that, but I also had to fix the thing for Python. I'll make those corrections and upload it to Canvas. Okay, so how do you take a screenshot? Easy peasy. Look all over your laptop or look on your keyboard. Usually it's in the upper right above the numlock key, somewhere around there. There's a print screen button. Let's just all do it together right now. Click the print screen button. And then either load up Word or Paint or some program. And by the way, this is how you do it on a PC. If you do it on a Mac, you've got to figure out a different way of doing it. It's not hard, it's just different. Okay, so load up Paint or load up Word. I'm just going to use Paint because it's easy. Right. Paint. And then paste. Now I'm a real fan of keyboard shortcuts, so I'm going to paste with a keyboard shortcut, Control V. Your guess is good as mine is how they chose V for paste. Shouldn't be Control P, but that usually means print. So anyways, okay, there it is. I don't care if you crop it and do this and do that and do the other, or just upload it like that. I don't care. And then save it, right? Now, although we're doing a screenshot today in class, you don't have to do that normally. Just for your homework, right? It's extra time to do it in class. There's no reason to do it in class. But I'm going to call this Lecture A, or maybe even Lecture A Screenshot. And if you didn't do all this, it's okay, but figure it out by the time you start doing your homework. All right, so now I have a screenshot. Let's go ahead and interrupt ourselves and upload it to Canvas. Just go back to our Lecture A directory, our Lecture A assignment folder, and upload it as well. Right, so Lecture A, simple programming. Choose a file, X-ray screenshot. All right, submit assignment. All right, so now I should have 2 different files ready to be graded, right? Yes, you can't see them. Submission details. There's a screenshot. All right, did it erase the other one when we did that? Or are we only allowed to submit one document?
I think so.
That is a drag.
You can resubmit assignment, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I resubmitted, but when I did that, did it erase the first one?
The first one, I think so.
No way. Okay, forget the screenshot. Go ahead and re-upload your programming quiz. Right. Oh, I see. Well, at least you can pick multiple files. Right. But it's a drag that you can't go back and keep adding them. That is a real pain. I object. I'm going to ask about how to fix that. Anyway, so I'm going to get my screenshot, and I'm going to get the other one, programming quiz, and I'm going to save them both. All right. But I see my comment. Wow, this is fun. It didn't erase my comment. I don't know. All right. I'll figure that out. The reason it's important to me is because if you don't get your homework running correctly and you don't make 100 on it, you know, if you only make a 50 or whatever, then I allow you to revise your homework assignments so that you can upload it again. But if it's going to erase your old one, that's kind of a drag. So we'll see if we can figure that out. Figure out some way around it if that's the case.
I think you can upload a file as a submission, and then you can comment with the file attached. So submission and comment are 2 different things, I think.
What about that?
Because you can comment on the actual assignment
Add another file.
without submitting on the
Oh, add another file. Well, there it is. And then there's also the text file and the PNG file. Kind of looks like they're there. No, because this is, yeah, kind of looks like they're there. We'll play with it. We'll master it. So, grading policy, your program has to run. You know, even if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, it has to run. You're probably familiar with the idea of syntax errors, right? If the program won't compile, if I can't run it, in the C programming language, when you try to run a program, it has to make an executable, a .exe. And if the program doesn't make an executable, then I can't grade it, I can't run it. That's possible. I'll give you a little bit of partial credit for it, but you're most likely not going to get any credit. So, I failed the assignment. No, what I'll do is I'll put some feedback that says I couldn't get it to compile. There's a syntax error. Please revise it and resubmit it for more credit. So, you're going to want to do that. Partial credit may be awarded for assignments that do not meet full criteria, right? If it's supposed to turn Fahrenheit to Celsius and it prints out the wrong answer, well, you know, maybe there's enough good code in there that you're going to get, you know, a 50 or a 70 on it. But again, you can revise it and get more credit. If you receive only partial credit due to the prior items, revise, resubmit it. About the only time I wouldn't let you do that is if you cheated on an assignment and you got a 0 on the assignment. We'll talk about cheating a little bit more. All right, and this is not actually true. Homework assignments on time do not get a bonus. Sorry about that. Got your hopes up. You have to get 50% of the programming assignments done to pass the course. Late assignment. If you turn it in late, it's 10 points off. If it's 2 weeks late, you know, after 7 days, it becomes, you know, 20% off, 30% off, and so on. And if it's been more than a month, sorry. Now, if there's some reason that you're turning in homework late, you're getting stuck, talk to me about it. Always talk to me about it. Don't just wait until the end of the semester and ask if you can, turn in 7 homework assignments. Don't do that. Penalties for late assignments might be waived at the instructor's discretion if you discuss it with me before the due date, right? You know that you're going to be out of town, for a week, right? You got to go to Arizona and do something. So just let me know. Just talk to me about it. Hey, my work was really busy this week, so I'm getting behind. And I'll go, okay, yeah, I'll work with you on it. Also, put that note that take note of that conversation when you upload it as a comment, right? As discussed, I'm turning this in late because of, I went to Arizona, whatever. Attendance, I take attendance. It's mandatory for me to take it. It's not mandatory for you to be here, right? If you miss a day, don't sweat it. You don't get counted off for missing a day. Just watch the video. Follow along with it and upload, a document or a video review form. But students who attend class and do not miss many days tend to perform better. Incompletes, well, we really don't even support incompletes anymore in the business division. What an incomplete used to be is, if you had to drop out of the course halfway through or whatever, you take an incomplete and then the professor, might give you some extra time after the semester's over to make up the work. And what happened is you'd get an incomplete on your report card, your transcript, and you wouldn't make up the work. 99% of the time, that's what's happened. So instead, you get the grade that is fair for you at that point. Like if it's, 70% of the way into the class and you've completed 70% of the work, then you get a C on your transcript. And I will work with you to give you extra time to raise that up to a B or an A, right? You got to let me know, right? Don't just get to the end of the semester. You and I will both have noticed if you're not doing your homework. You got to participate for the first week, or else you get an AW on your transcript, you get dropped from the class, and if anybody gave you money to go take the class, then they come and take it back from you, right, legally, by whatever means necessary. So always attend the first week of class. Several of y'all are already here. That's not a problem for you. I hope that those of y'all who are not here take note of that. Used to be that you could run a scam where you'd get a grant, you'd go to a college and you wouldn't actually attend the college, and then later on you'd get a grant to go to another college and you wouldn't attend that college. Well, you're not allowed to do that anymore. That's what the AW is figured out for. All right, so student expectations. Having access to Canvas and MindTap. Well, we're not using MindTap in this course. Delete that. Check Canvas updates. I'm not using Evernote, so I'm removing that. Got to read the textbook. You paid money for the textbook. Hopefully it wasn't a very expensive text, but you make some good use of it. Keep up with the schedule. Complete the in-class and the homework assignments. Turn your homework in on time. Complete quizzes and exams. If you do all this stuff, you're probably going to make an A. Phones, laptops, etc. will be silent. Don't set it on buzz, right? Or if you're going to set it on buzz, keep it in your pocket, not on the desk where it goes zzz, zzz, 20 times during the class period, because that really annoys the people who are next to you, around you, and then they come and complain to me, and I have to talk to you about it. So, all right. Don't listen to your headphones. Hurts my feelings if you listen to headphones rather than listening to me. All right. Expectation of me. I'm supposed to provide clear instructions. If you can't make sense of the homework, if it looks like something is missing from the homework, if you can't even find the homework assignment, or if it doesn't make sense, talk to me about it and I'll revise it. And I may give everybody extra time on it, right, because it was not clear. I'll answer questions, right, if you have questions, person, email, phone, or text. I will grade your assignments and give feedback, generally within a week. I'll give you a week's notice of due assignments. I'll never have you come in on Monday and I'll say, okay, by the way, by Wednesday I want you to have this done. That's not fair. Give you a week's notice, 2 weeks notice of exams, post all assignments, notices, PowerPoints, and everything on Canvas. All right, academic integrity. What does this mean? It means don't cheat. Please don't cheat. Bad stuff happens if you cheat. Here, we'll just make a note of this. All right. All right, we're done, right? We don't need to talk about it anymore. Unfortunately, we got to talk a little bit more about it. And I'm sure it's not going to be a factor in this class. but every semester I have some folks who try to do so. Like what? Download programs from the internet, right? If I tell you to implement a Caesar cipher, you Google Caesar cipher, you get the code, and you upload it as though you did it. Don't do that. It probably looks like it was written by a professional programmer with 20 years of experience, right? You may not even understand what it is. If I look at something and I don't think you understand what it is, it's within my rights to have you come in and sit down and I say, okay, I want you to write your program by hand, right? And I can tell, you know, if you even get in the right ballpark or not, that you understand it or not. Usually I can identify exactly the site that you downloaded it from. So don't do that. Does that mean that you can't Google up useful information? Oh yeah, sure. You can find programming assignment examples. You just have to make that your own code. Just like you're writing a research paper, right? You're not going to turn in somebody else's research paper, but you're going to do research and you're going to, you know, you can find information, take it from books or whatever. Anyways, so don't copy stuff. Don't show your work to somebody else. Don't copy somebody else's work. You both will get F's on the assignment and worse if that happens. And it's real easy to get in the habit, especially if y'all were sitting next to each other, right? And you were helping each other during the in-class lectures, right? Because, you know, if I'm stuck here and I get something done and you wanted to point out that I forgot this semicolon, that'd be awesome, right? You know, team programming is cool, but team programming is not cool for homework. And I guarantee that if somebody asks to see your program, hey, could you email me XYZ? I just need to see how to do something. 99.9% of the time, they haven't even started the program. They're going to take your program, they're going to upload it. And if they're idiots, they won't even change the name in the comments, right? So, and then you fail, right? So you don't want to do that. The consequences. Oh, and of course you're not going to cheat on exams. Well, how could I cheat on an exam? Oh, yeah, you pop up Gmail and you start sending each other messages or something. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to sit there and use your phone, right, to you know, take pictures of the exam and, you know, ask your spouse, your best friend who's a pro programmer to do it. Not going to do any of that. And the only reason I mention this stuff is because it has happened. Consequences. The least that will happen is you'll get an F on the quiz or the exam. If it's an exam that would totally sink your grade, right? You may fail the course. You may be ejected from the course. You may be put on academic probation, right? You may be expelled. So that's the least that will happen. What will happen is the student will be reported to the division dean and the director of student conduct. So, you know, permanent record is made of it. You don't want that on your record. Free counseling, right? If stuff's going on in your life that's making it hard for you to study, making it hard for you to accomplish your tasks, go and talk to these folks. They're good folks. Trauma, grief, substance use, right? Go to the website, call the number, ask for help. Asking for help is the smart thing to do. It's free, right? And it's confidential. What could go wrong? If you have some needs beyond what's ordinary, it used to be called the Office of Disability Services. Now it's called Student Access Services. They will help you fill out a form if you give them documentation asking for what you need. Like if you need permission to sit on the front row, of course I'd give that to you, right? Or to record the lectures, well, I record the lectures anyways. I don't care if you point a camera at me. If you're going to need extra time on the exams, right, they will work with you to come out with what's reasonable to ask the professor to help you with, and I will. Then there's something called the Student Success Center. You can go over there, talk to them. Study skills workshops, learning style assessments. You can Google up rose.edu Student Success Center, and see, I should have put the URL here. Wonder why I didn't. There it is, right? Workshops. Looks like they've all passed. Oh well. They'll be adding some more, I am absolutely sure. Maybe they're not very active over the summer. It's worth tucking away in your brain anyways. Electronic communication. You have an email account. If you cannot log into your email account, you're going to ask the IT help desk. If you need information from the student handbook about getting, you know, withdrawals or audits or stuff like that, I include the handbook as something you can download. And I think that's only the 2018 one, but you could Google up and find a 19.1, but I just tried to make it easy to click right there. And that's about it. That's the URL. If you've taken any of my classes before, this one's run the same way as the other one. And you got to be comfortable with it. If you haven't taken my classes before, get comfortable with it. Relax. It's not going to be that bad. What we do is we come to class, I give lectures, I type in some programming code. You can choose to type in some code along with me or take some notes. And then when you end of class, you upload those notes. That proves you were here, you know, and there's a third of your grade in a class for doing that. And then the homework assignments are based on, you know, what we did in that day. Now there is a homework assignment loaded, but we haven't done any actual programming yet, so the clock's not ticking on it right. It's going to be due a week from Wednesday, not a week from today. So why do I have y'all type along with me? Because y'all get bored, right? It's boring listening to a professor pointing at a PowerPoint, right? Yeah. You go to sleep, you start checking Facebook, you know, whatever. By the way, don't put anything on your screen that's more interesting than I am. Especially anything that's more interesting to the students behind you than I am. Don't watch YouTube videos or Netflix or Twitch streams or, you know, whatever. That's just common courtesy. And again, I only mention this stuff because it's happened. Don't sit in the back of the classroom with your portable PlayStations playing, you know, Street Fighter against each other. Everything I mention is something that's actually happened in my classes. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Are there any questions? Any questions? That kind of makes sense. Feeling good so far? You're not feeling good. No. What's wrong? What's wrong? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's not going to be a killer class. I promise it's not going to be a killer class. Right? Third of the grade's just showing up, typing along. Another third of the grade is based on the homework, and I'll help you with that, right? We can meet in my office, and you can send me text messages and stuff like that. The exams are open book, open notes, open raise your hand, so it's going to work. It's going to work. Now, I can't come and do Xanax to people, but I can do everything else I can do. All right, any questions? Well, let's plan on meeting Wednesday then. There will be a folder in Canvas that links to our YouTube playlist. So if you miss a lecture, just watch the video and upload into the Dropbox for that day. There's nothing else to upload. We've already done the screenshot. So we are good. We're good for today, I believe.